It's happening today. I'm preserving this food once and for all. If you remember, I think it has to have been a couple weeks ago now, but we took all of our red tomatoes left over from the garden and we turned them into tomato sauce. We didn't bother with any red salsa or just normal tomato salsa because we knew we were gonna have a bunch of green tomatoes left over. So I think we had, gosh, I don't even know how many green tomatoes we had, a ridiculous amount. And we ended up with 70 pints of salsa verde. It's a little bit on the spicy side, but we're not gonna judge it until it has a while to sit on the shelf for the flavors to kind of meld together. And if you remember, it was earlier before our garden really started producing, but we canned some tomatillo salsa. And this, I have to be honest, I bought all the ingredients from the store. One, because I was craving tomatillo sauce or salsa or whatever. And instead of just buying it, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna make it. I'm gonna make like 6 to 8 pints or whatever. It's gonna last a long time. It's probably gonna be healthier for us. And I also wanted to test out our canning system. And the whole project went really well, and we've been enjoying that tomatillo salsa all year. So because it was such a success, that's actually one reason why we decided to grow tomatillos, because tomatillo salsa is just so delicious. If you haven't tried it, you must. And I wouldn't say we had a great tomatillo harvest. A lot of these tomatillos, you can see, they're kind of on the small side. I'm not sure if we had a pollination issue or what, but a lot of the husks were really large, but the fruit was really tiny. Or that could be that we just simply planted it too late in the season, mid-June, and they really didn't have a time to grow. We also had one plant that may have had like some sort of deficiency because the plant was more yellow instead of green. I'm sure you won't be able to tell the difference when these are mixed in with the green tomatillos. I'm not sure how much we're gonna get, but we're probably gonna get, I don't know, maybe 8-10 pints worth. That's my guess. And then I bought a bunch of onions and stuff from the store that we're going to supplement the recipe with. We did plant our own onions, but the couple I dug up, they're about like that big. They really didn't do well. We've never had success growing onions. Maybe next year. And I also know we can toss in a lot of green peppers into the tomatillo sauce, so hopefully that'll be a good use for a lot of these poblano peppers, and maybe even some of our unripe yellow bell peppers, green bell peppers, right? We also have all of these cucumbers. In all honesty, I've kind of gone back and forth whether to preserve them at all, because small batch canning to me, like, I don't know, just kind of feels like a waste of time, even though it's probably not, better than nothing. So I think I'm gonna combine these with some onions and try to can some bread and butter pickles. If we only end up with a pint and a half, that's okay. It's more about the exercise. The garage has been a really huge mess the past couple of weeks with all the electrical projects going on. So Jesse did a lot of cleaning last night. It's really good for the mind. We can't work in a pigsty. And then I did a bit this morning just cleaning up the Salsa Verde project, getting all the rings removed and getting them to the canning section. And Jesse cleaned all the pots that had food burned on the bottom of them that I wasn't able to get to after that project. I vacuumed this side of the garage, so really excited to get to work today in a clean environment. And this is our first canning project with hot water. Oh yes, baby, oh yes. It's gonna make dishes a heck of a lot easier. Wasn't that the weirdest thing you ever did see? A hollow cucumber. Priority number one is to get the tomatillo salsa made, but a according to the Ball Blue Book recipe, before you make pickles, you need to sprinkle salt over everything. I think that's to get some of the excess moisture out, don't quote me on that, so that your pickles aren't waterlogged once they're in their little pickle liquid. And that needs to sit for like an hour and a half. I was gonna save this till later in the video, but I think the time has come. I can't put it off any longer. So, you know how onions make a lot of people cry when you cut them? Normal people, they're like, oh boo-hoo-hoo, my eyes sting a little bit. And for some reason, I didn't used to be this way, but I've been this way since we moved here. I can't even see when I cut onions. It hurts so bad. And I have to just physically leave the room. I can't cut the onions anymore. I can't even get through it. In this video here, you'll notice I have like a little shiner on my cheek. So I was cutting onions in here, and again, it hurt so bad I couldn't even function. In fact, I had like stuff coming out of my nose, and there were no tissues or anything in here to wipe my eyes or blow my nose. So I tried to exit the garage and go to the RV, and I couldn't see, so every once in a while I'd like open my eyes so I could see where I was going, and guess what? There was a bunch of lumber sticking out of our truck. Bam! I walked right into it. It hurt so bad. So, I never want that to happen again, and I don't want to have to rely on Jessie to cut my onions for me. Onion goggles, guys. Onion goggles. Yes, they're a thing, and I decided to try a pair out. There's a really big part of me that feels like this is a really big gimmick, but because it's kind of funny, it sells. But I was willing to take the risk. I'll link to these below this video. The reviews were good. I did read the reviews, and a lot of people said, I can cut onions all day long in these. They're probably not stylish enough to, you know, wear on the streets and stuff. They do come in a variety of fun colors. But to keep everything themed, the ball theme, I decided to go with white and green. They also have black and green. So if Jessie ends up needing a pair, maybe we can have his and hers onion goggles. They say if you get bucked off a horse, you have to get back on that horse. So here goes nothing. Here goes nothing. So far, so good. Loving it, guys, loving it. No burn yet, not even kidding. I think I'm pretty happy with that. And now we wait. The recipe says add some ice cubes on top of all of that. Maybe that helps kind of get the water out. I don't know, I don't have any, so I'm gonna be a canning rebel and I'm gonna go without and see if the world blows up. Okay, I think we're ready to prepare all the tomatillos now. I'm gonna do kind of a lazy job cutting them, like in half, because in my experience, it works really well to just take an immersion blender and blend it all up. Jessie and I were kind of having this conversation. We feel like for red salsas, some of them can be nice to enjoy chunky, but for green salsas, we're kind of thinking blended. Do you guys agree? Actually, I'm thinking, because Jessie might be out and about in town, he's not really sure yet, but I want to make sure that I have all the spices I need for the pickles, because nothing's more annoying than running out of spice. So we're gonna go ahead and use this pan here. I brought out all the makings for deviled eggs. This is my homemade mayo. Maybe I can share some more info on that later. But for now, we have to commandeer the pan. time for the big batch. Here we go. Whew, the verdict? My nose is definitely trying to run, and I do feel the burn in my eyes, and they're trying to water. The difference is that I can keep cutting the onions. I don't have to just completely stop until the garage clears itself of onion air. I do think they will go into the canning toolbox, and I'll try to use them from now on. I think we're gonna get the pickles out of the way first. Nothing like all the sugar settling on the bottom. I've learned with brine that it's always better to make a little extra because the last thing you want to do is not have enough and have to make more. So I'm pretty sure I only had maybe a single batch according to the recipe I'm using, so I doubled the recipe, but I'm a little bit nervous. But I also know you don't want your pickles swimming in brine. You really want to pack the jars fairly full and then pour the brine around the pickles. So we'll let this get boiling, then we'll toss the pickles in, let that get hot, and then we'll see where we're at. Is this not the cutest little canner you've ever seen in your life? I found this at a thrift shop for like $5. Tell me you're not curious to see just how much liquid comes out of our little pickle mix here. I'm a non-believer, but that's liquid. Do you see it in the corner? So apparently there's something to this salting thing. It's quite a bit of liquid. Well, we still have that many peppers to do something with, and because we warmed the garage up, they're probably not going to last as long. I already see there's some here that are ready for the compost bin. So I did freeze these, or I froze some peppers a while back, and when they thawed, I was very disappointed with the texture. I certainly wouldn't want to use the peppers for stir fry. They're just too soft. I don't know, that's my experience. So if I can't find a use for these, which probably not gonna in the next couple days, I'm probably just gonna freeze them. Maybe we'll use them in soup or something. I don't know on this brine amount. Maybe we got more cucumbers out of the garden than I think. But I think I'm gonna push my luck. And if we only get a partial, then I guess they'll be refrigerator pickles. Jessie enjoys those. You know what? I think we're gonna have the right amount of brine. I do think. Pints. I'm very happy with that. I was hoping I wasn't going to get like 1 or 2, but 4 is worth it, I'd say. And that fits perfectly in this tiny little water bath canner. And I have a little bit of brine left over. I think I'm going to risk doing it in 2 small canners instead of firing up The big guy. We'll see if I regret it. Beautimous, absolutely beautimous. Look at that. Oh yeah. Jesse and I have been making a lot of pozole. I think that's how you say it. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it has hominy, which I think is like a cracked corn or a puffed corn or something pretty good. So we've been having like our homemade chicken broth, a pound of chicken, and then we do like a cup or half pint of tomatillo sauce. That's about it. Oh, plus like 2 cans of hominy. And it makes the best dish ever, the best dinner ever. It's so flavorful. We don't even flavor our homemade broth, we just do chicken feet and water. But man, you add this tomatillo sauce in and ho dang, has such a good base. Wow, look at those buttes. Hey. Hey, look who decided to join us. Hey. Bugaboo's Bugaboo's not sure he likes the house yet. Bugaboo says the RV's still home. Yep. Where are you going? Bugaboo, have you seen the stairs that Dad built yet? It's the first time I've seen him go up the stairs. There he goes. Hey, you're almost there. You're gonna stop right there? You're almost there, Bugaboo. You have night vision. Turn your night mode on. All these sealed, so that's pretty nice. Always nice when your jars seal. It's not too late to do deviled eggs, guys. It's happening. 4 pints of pickles, 13 pints tomatillo salsa. Not a bad day, guys, not a bad day. Feels so good to get the harvest wrapped up. There's still a little more work to do, but in theory, this could be our last canning project of the season. Wow. I feel like it should be summer still, but the whole year has just flown by. Thanks, Ruth. Hopefully when Jesse's back from errands, he'll be excited to see what I did. Nothing like the sound of lid sealing. Pretty good day, guys. I feel like with these large batches, I always think canning is like maybe a 2 or 3 hour activity, but when you have a lot of vegetables or fruit that needs prepared, say seeded or cut, like the tomatillos, maybe I didn't need to cut them, but I did, halves or quarters, it takes quite a while. And cutting the onions, so in a way, things like salsas are more time consuming than fruit. Like huckleberries, you don't have to do anything. There's like no processing the fruit at all. You just add sugar, turn on the heat, off you go. But vegetables take quite a bit longer. So The night's still young. I'm gonna finish these deviled eggs, put those in the fridge, really nice for snacking on. Oh, I told you guys. I was gonna tell you about my homemade mayo. I'll link to the recipe I used, or a similar recipe, in this video. I made this with avocado oil. Avocado oil is like the latest rage. I've had a really bad time making mayo in my past because, hold on, let me set a timer on these eggs real quick. Let's go 7 minutes of boiling. Boom. I've had a really hard time making mayo in the past because the recipes used olive oil. Same thing with dressing. Olive oil has a really strong taste, even if you get like the really top end olive oil. Not a huge fan. So avocado oil, I don't know, maybe it'll turn out not to be all that good for you. Avocado oil is supposed to have a really high smoke point, meaning you can cook with it at high temperatures, unlike olive oil, which will make the oil rancid, I believe. But what I'm trying to say is avocado oil for making mayo, amazing. So that's my secret, and this is the mayo that we're using to make the deviled eggs. So on that note, gonna keep an eye on this. And then I think I'm gonna end the evening by cutting the rest of the peppers. I don't have a better idea, so they're going in the freezer. Hopefully we could toss them in a soup or something. I don't know, we'll get creative. Do you want some?
You did it again, didn't you?
What?
Deviled eggs.
Yeah. So I did 6 eggs, but like because I had like a rancid egg or 2 in recent times, I'm like hyper paranoid. So 2 of them, like the texture was different and I smelled them and I don't know. So I threw half of them out. Seems logical, right? But I'm confident those ones aren't rancid. And I don't know how to tell a rancid hard-boiled egg. The other ones are pretty obvious. If it makes you want to barf, it's probably rancid, so.
Is this with the avocado oil and all that?
Yeah.
And I don't think last time they upset my tummy, did they?
No? Do you want to try?
Can
Maybe
I?
save me like one more, but yeah.
Can I have one? So you made 8 total?
3 eggs.
3 eggs.
And then 3 I threw out. Pretty simple. I don't know why we don't make these more often.
Wow, so good. How's the heater treating you?
It's good. It's been nice all day, and then it got really steamy in here, so I opened the door and tried to like vent it because I heard your little voice in my head telling me that it was too humid in here. Yeah, got all cleaned up. There's the goods.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to muster up the strength to cut the peppers.
Are these bread and butter?
Yeah. Made them with red onions, so they might be a little pinkish, but they're beautiful.
You saw the tomatillos? Does that mean we get to have more pozole?
Heck yeah. That's for dinner, and I'm starving.
I don't know, me too. Wow. Beautiful. Good job. And do you have hot water?
You know, it never got hot. It was kind of like warm.
Raise his eyebrow.
Yeah, we'll have to play with that off
Well,
camera.
so here's the deal. So the hot water gets into the pipe, but the pipe's cold.
Oh, you know, it's probably not running continuous enough to get hot water. So
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a good lesson though, messing around with it today, canning, because I think we may have to put a small point of use at the sinks where you just turn the water on and off.
Yeah.
Because there's too much, you know, the plumber was like, oh, it's not very far. And I'm like, well, we're conservative with water.
Right.
So we don't sit and let the water run for 15 minutes to get cold water there. So
yeah,
this will be a good test. I mean, that's not very far. Actually, the bathroom upstairs will be a little closer even. So, cool.
Ready for some dinner?
Yeah.
They'll have to just guess whether or not I finished the peppers. Because I'm done filming, guys.
Bye.